Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How
How
are
you
you?
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine and dandy?
Oh, well, that's just marvelous to hear.
Yes.
What's
What's new?
Oh, goodness, what's new? Let's see. More weird weather, not weird weather, spring in the mountains weather, or spring in Colorado weather, I guess I should say. Another snowy weekend spent on the couch all day, butt
Mm.
to couch on
Mm.
Saturday, and had the beast all snuggled in next to me and
Mm.
watched, I don't even remember, to be quite frank, lots of crap on TV that I could care less about, but it was just a very relaxing day. But so much so, when you have that level of inactivity, literally the only time I got up was to eat and to go to the bathroom. And I was back butt to couch from, I don't know, whatever time I got up that morning, which probably was sometime between 5:30 and 6:30 until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, depending on when I actually went to bed. And the result of that was a glorious hemorrhoid.
No way.
I tell you what, it's getting old shit. I don't know. I just
But were you sitting the whole time or you need
Mhm.
to lie down?
Well, I mean, I adjusted myself every now and again, but for the most part, I was in a seated position. Not the exact same one. I mean, clearly, I can't sit
Yeah,
still like
yeah,
that for
yeah.
that long, but apparently, it was long enough for something like that to occur. So, just like,
Maybe I've grown those calluses because I can sit all day and not get a hemorrhoid.
so you're saying I just have to work at it harder.
Maybe you need to start taking diuretics so you get your exercise going to and from the
Maybe,
bathroom. There you go.
maybe that's it.
Or eat more. Go to the
Well,
kitchen more.
I don't think I need to eat more.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I don't regret the day. I regret because it didn't happen that day. It didn't appear until a couple days later. But I'm confident that that was the culprit for it
Mm,
because
mm.
it makes sense.
Well, we won't go into other possibilities, but
No, let's not.
no, well,
And I've been meaning to tell the listener about the time that you and I went to Costco together. We had our own carts and went shopping around the store, and
good times, good
good
times.
times, good times. Auntie Joan texted me saying that she was at checkout. I'm like, whoa, I better get my butt in gear. So I get to checkout, and there's a person behind Auntie Joan. Auntie Joan is actually getting her groceries scanned and getting ready to pay. And there was a person behind Auntie Joan in front of me, and then it was me in line. And Auntie Joan takes out her checkbook, and I say, there always has to be at least one person who uses a checkbook. And Auntie Joan just immediately starts smiling. Everybody else in line and the checkout people and the person who is like helping putting things back in her cart were horrified and looked at me like, "Oh my God, why are you being so rude?" And I started cracking up. And then we let them in on the secret that Auntie Joan and I not only knew each other, but we were actually there together.
Yeah, and if I was thinking at the time, I would have said, I've never seen this woman before in my life.
That would have been awesome.
We'll try that the next time.
Right, right. The cashier was like, "Oh my God, I thought there was going to be a fight." And I was cracking up so hard. Oh, I made myself laugh and laugh and laugh.
Yeah, people just don't write checks anymore. I like writing
don't.
checks.
I know.
I mean, I'd rather write checks than charge stuff. And I know you can get points and all that stuff, but it's too much work for me. And I forget that I got points, you know?
Oh no, because you get it. You get a little coupon in the mail. either in the mail or depending if you ask for your bills to be sent to you through the mail still, you'll actually get the certificate,
I don't do
the
that.
coupon in the mail. If you do it online, then you'll get an email telling you that it's available and you just download it from online. But
From
yes.
your charge company.
Yes. Yes, which Costco uses Citibank.
Oh, so you use your Costco at Costco.
I do. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
And
More
they
points
give you
that way.
they give you the coupon, huh?
Correct.
That makes it worthwhile.
It does for me. I don't usually get a lot because I don't spend a ton at Costco. But I get $150 a year or something cash back.
Oh, that's worth it.
Yeah, but you only get it once a year. So it accumulates through the whole year, and then they send their certificate or tell you that the certificate's available for you to take to the Costco the following, like February, March, somewhere in there. And yeah.
Well, that would pay for a big bag of toilet paper and paper towels and cat litter.
Yeah. Multiples.
Yeah.
So.
I'll have to look into that so I don't have strange people behind me criticizing me for writing a check. When I get cash, I still go to the drive-up window and write a check for cash. Hey,
Right. Well, you
yeah.
do you. You do you. I can't.
It keeps the tellers in business.
It does, but I'm, as you know, not much of a people person. So the least I have to actually engage, the better.
You're not a people person.
No.
You come out so friendly and welcoming to anybody. Hi!
Because it's so rare that I have to talk to someone. You
don't know how to talk like a normal person. You have to talk to them like you're really cheerful.
Exactly. I make their day. Oh yeah, like the poor girls at DQ last week when I was all chipper and I forgot what I said to them. I left them like they hate me because I can't remember what I said, but yes, I remember thinking, oh, they hate me. They were too young to get whatever reference I said. I don't know what I said.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
said something
to.
silly, but I don't remember what it was, but it was definitely not of their era.
Yeah, well.
Oh, did I ever tell you the time? Back in the day, Pacey and I were driving in Northern California. We were in some kind of countryside-ish area. I don't remember. And also she's looking out the window. She's like, what do you think that crop is? No, I said arugula. And she said, is it? That's interesting. I said, how the hell would I know? I'm no farmer. I've never seen a plant I might have seen it in the grocery store, but I've never seen it planted. And that's what I told her. I'm like, as long as you say something with authority, people will believe you. And
that's true. That's
really
true.
Is. It really is. Why would you question it? I didn't hesitate. I just said it very matter-of-factly, and she believed me.
So do you think anyone listening to our podcast, because we speak with authority when we talk about things like commercials and such? Yes.
Oh.
Well, like the Lumi,
Mm-hmm.
So do you think our listeners think that, we know what we're talking about?
No. God, I hope they don't.
Well, that's too bad. I hope they do.
Really?
Yeah, because I think we've shared some important stuff.
Some stuff we have, but we've always caveated by saying do your own research and make sure you double check.
Well, you caveat it.
Yeah, I do typically, yes.
I speak with authority like I know what I'm talking about.
So what's been going on in your world, Auntie Joan?
You'll be so happy to hear this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I looked out my living room window the other day and I saw a robin with some little sticks in its mouth. It's remodeling the nest on my front porch.
Gross. You had me at robins.
There's been a nest. I don't take it out. I leave it up because I've read that, and I speak with authority here, that birds will come back and use it.
See, that's why I get rid of it immediately.
They do. They come back every year. And one year it was torn down. I think a squirrel or something got up there and knocked
Attaboy.
it off. Oh, stop it. And I keep hoping the hummingbirds will come back to that little hummingbird
Oh,
nest I had.
God. Please. That's
Oh,
fantastic. You should absolutely keep them down there. That would be awesome. Do not let them come back up here.
oh my gosh.
Do not like them.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah.
You're not only not a people person, you're not a bird person either.
I told you, birds of prey are okay. When I saw that eagle
Yeah,
flying
because
around,
because they
bald
eat other
eagle,
birds.
they're very cool.
They rob their nests and eat their
Good.
babies.
That's what I like to hear. Keep the population down. I like those birds. And hawks and owls. Those are and penguins, but I've never, other than a zoo. I'd like to see a penguin in the wild, but someday.
Yeah, someday. Yeah.
Those are the only birds I can't say only, those are the ones that come to my mind right now. But most birds I despise. Yes.
I know. Yeah, that blows my mind.
Did I ever tell you there was a vulture, too, that were on top of my previous neighbor's house that overlooked the reservoir in Netherlands? And it was, I looked, I'm like, what is, I could see them from my house. And then I'm like, what is that on top of their roof? What is that? And then I took out my binoculars and they looked exactly like the cartoon. What the hell? Those things are gross and creepy. Now, those are birds of prey that I do not like.
Oh, but those are the ones that eat the dead stuff.
They're gross.
They're good to have around. Yeah. They're good to have around.
Oh my God. I've never seen one in the wild before. And that was, I was okay never to see him again. So, yeah.
That's sad. Sad.
Well, you keep the birds down there. They're nesting anyway, so they're going to stay with you. That's good.
I hope so. I hope so. So then I had my 6-month checkup at my dentist office. As usual, no cavities. Everything's doing wonderfully.
Well,
now what's interesting about that is, and a shout out to Dr. Kemp and my oral hygienist, Kathy. They're going to be listening to the podcast, and I told them I'd give them a shout out. So, hi, guys.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
We need to get Auntie in there. She'll keep you busy for a while. Anyway, their office is pretty darn close to where that King Soopers shooting was.
Oh, yeah. Was that like
years ago?
2021? 2022? It was not too far away from, I thought it was pretty close to the COVID. It was somewhere in the early 2020s, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think they finally finished remodeling it last year.
My previous neighbors have been in and said how beautiful it actually is.
Oh, yeah?
Remodel. Yeah. If I can see.
It's 3 years. It's been 3 years.
2021. Okay.
So what's interesting too about that is my hygienist, Kathy, said she had a patient in her chair that afternoon. And his wife had while he was getting his teeth cleaned, his wife went out to do some grocery shopping. Fortunately, she went to the little Whole Foods that's down there instead of the King Soopers. Yeah, they were kind of a little bit nervous and worried.
Sure.
Waiting to find out. Yeah, that was something.
That was just terrible.
Yeah.
Any of the mass shootings are just unnecessary. And again, even with mental illness, I think if you have issues with yourself, not that I'm a proponent of somebody harming themselves, but at the same time, if you are that distraught, take it out on yourself and don't leave perfect strangers who are just going about their day and who have no connection to you whatsoever, to kill people. I just don't even understand that. I can't.
Well, I don't think that there's so much. I mean, they don't have, obviously there's something wrong, but I don't think the cause, one could say, is actually how they feel about themselves. I think they get caught up in a lot of talk and stuff, and they feel they have a need to try to send a message by killing people.
Any way you look at it, honestly, it's just senseless and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And very, very sad.
Well, every month or so, there's another one that we get to deal with. So,
indeed.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we talk about what we are watching. And
What you watching, Auntie?
oh, Auntie Joan.
Oh, it's a good one, huh?
So, you know how we have a tag on our every episode of our podcast that says explicit? And that was purposely put there because of me. Folks, you have not experienced how Auntie typically talks. I've been very, very
She
reserved.
has. She has.
That ends now.
Oh, dear. All right. Get the children out of the room.
Exactly. So you've all been warned. Here it comes. I watched Poor Things. What a colossal piece of shit this movie was.
Amen.
Oh my God. I watched it because I do in fact love Emma Stone and I love Mark Ruffalo. And Willem Dafoe, he's fine. Not one of my favorites, but he's good usually. Absolutely atrocious. When I saw she won the Academy Award for it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And then I saw that it was free on Hulu. And I said, oh, well, even better. Now I can just watch it. I don't have to pay for it. It's fantastic. Came out in 2023 sometime. I don't know when. I don't get commercials on for everything. So I don't know. Oh my God. The reason, in my opinion, that she got the Academy Awards because she got fucked every which way possible in this movie. And they filmed it. And she got an Academy Award. I can't even describe in real words as to how awful this movie was. It was basically softcore porn.
Yes.
It was, she mostly had sex with men, but there was a woman thrown in there too for good measure. She was a prostitute for a while. This movie was so bad. The crux of the movie was that Willem Dafoe was a doctor who had a quack father. It's just kind of like a Frankenstein-y kind of thing going on. His father did experiments on Willem Dafoe. He became a quack doctor as a result of it. And for some reason, he ended up taking the baby that Emma Stone's character had and repurposing just the brain, right? Of the baby into Emma Stone. So basically, she was an adult that had a child's brain that was evolving. So she was learning to talk. She was learning to walk. She was learning everything. And once she realized masturbation felt good out of nowhere sitting at the dining room table, go figure, of all places, then she was a sex monger the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And you don't find out until the end that she was in an abusive relationship in her original form.
Oh, yeah.
And she was pregnant. I don't honestly remember how he ended up operating on her. I don't remember, honestly, because I was so disgusted
that was his
with
thing.
the movie.
I mean, he was doing studies and stuff. And
right, but how did she get to him?
Well, she commits suicide.
She did commit suicide.
In the very opening. Yeah, in the very opening. And he finds the body. And I think she had just died.
Right. Okay, so that's how he was able to harvest everything and put her back together.
And so then she was pregnant and he took the fetus and took the brain and put that in Emma Stone's character's brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I normally like Emma Stone movies. I normally adore Mark Ruffalo and pretty much anything he is in. And I cannot even tell you just how bad this is. I just can't. It was so
You're preaching to the choir here. Yeah.
Absolutely awful. See, Auntie Joan and I typically don't talk about whatever we've watched that we're going to be talking to all you about. So we don't know how we're coming into this, whether I like the movie or she liked the movie or vice versa, or we didn't like the movie and vice versa and all that wonderful stuff. It's refreshing to hear that you too did not enjoy this crazy ass movie.
How could I? How could I? You're talking to an old lady here. And I'm very liberal on some things, but man, oh man, it was all I kept thinking about during this movie was there's too much sex. There's too much sex.
Yes.
Can't they focus on something else?
And Emma Stone's character, Bella, she kept saying is, I want you to jump up and down on me.
Yeah.
And that was how she referenced sex.
Yeah.
The only character that I enjoyed in the movie was Hannah Shugala. She played that Martha Van Kurt, the older woman on the boat. I thought she was kind of badass and, was very, women's rights forward for the
Yeah,
day and age.
yeah.
Honestly, and I also didn't know what era we were in. Oh, that was another thing. They were in old-timey clothes, but then there were people flying and doing stuff, and I'm like, what year does this even, where are we in time? The whole good chunk of the movie, I thought for sure we were somewhere in the past, somewhere in like, the 1800s or 1700, whatever, something way back. And then all of a sudden, there were these flying cars, and I'm like, what
There were
time
flying
period?
cars. I
Yes.
remember the balloons, the flying balloon,
I'm like, what year is this supposed to be taking place in? It's very confusing. I'm like, I hated every ounce of this movie. Atrocious. And honestly, the fact that they gave her the Academy Award just made me sick.
yeah.
Sick based on this movie. I do believe she's a deserving actress, but this actual movie did not. And even her portrayal in this movie, because honestly, there was no acting. No offense, Emma, there was no acting. This was just, I can't. It was so bad. It was just so bad.
Well, I didn't mind her acting so much. I mean, when I saw the film clip like back months and months ago, I thought, "Oh, come on." I mean, it was her, acting like a child getting used to the body, but you could see her progress slowly during the movie. So
Mhm.
I thought she did good that way. I liked the scenery. I liked the steampunk kind of backgrounds that they
Mhm.
had. I thought
Mhm.
those were pretty cool. Um,
Well, I'm glad you found some things to enjoy of the movie because I most certainly did not.
well, get this, get this. I'm watching it, and of course, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did Auntie really like this? Because I thought, oh, she's so anxious to talk about it. She must
Mm-mm.
have really liked it. And I'm
Mm-mm.
thinking, oh, well, I sure don't care about it very much. I'll just have to tell it like it is. But yeah, all the sex. It wasn't that long ago. Full frontal nudity
Mhm.
for women
Mhm.
was not something
Mhm.
that an accomplished actress would do.
Mhm. Well,
Um,
I was surprised when she showed her breasts at first because I don't think she's been in a movie where she's done that. So I was like, "Oh wow, go Emma Stone. Okay, whatever." And then, like you said, full frontal. I'm like,
uh-huh,
"What are you
uh-huh.
doing, Emma Stone?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you doing?"
yeah. I just wonder what
Yeah.
they did to convince her to do all that stuff. She didn't need to do it.
Well, she got an Academy Award for
I
it.
know
I
she
told
did.
you, you
Yeah.
just gotta go full frontal and get screwed every possible way that you can think of.
And I remember I was so disappointed when she did get it because I wanted the actress from Flowers of the August Moon to win.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Now you're doing what I do with that movie.
You can see I didn't prepare thoroughly for
That's
this
all
part,
right.
but
That's all right. But I
yeah,
agree because I really thought she was going to win.
yeah, I did too.
And then Emma Stone won. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I should probably watch that movie and see what it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
about. And no, no, no. The other woman should have won, in my
Yeah, I think
opinion. I
so
haven't even
too.
seen Killers of the Flower Moon. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I
What
said
did I
it
say?
right.
Flowers of the August Moon. That's what I said. Why can't they just make things easier for us?
No kidding. I can't believe I got it right because you saw on the other episode I was constantly getting it wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a terrible disappointment and really
Mhm.
disappointed with the Academy.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
flabbergasted that they thought this performance was worthy of an Oscar. Yeah.
There's
Bad.
all kinds of rave reviews about there about it and how it captures the feminist movement.
No.
Yeah, that
Disagree.
was something else that I did look that up specifically, thinking, I wonder if they're trying to make this into a feminist type statement because, as she progresses, as she gets more well read and stuff, the men don't seem to handle her very well. Like
True.
Mark Ruffalo's character, and then of course her ex-husband, and yeah.
If that movie was never made, it would have been better off.
I just see the Washington Examiner says, "Poor things, a perverted Dali-esque misadventure." And I think that kind of says it pretty well.
It kind of does.
I tried. I tried to look at the prostitution and think, well, this is, what she felt she needed to do to, survive. And she's taken care of using what skills she had or what she could do to survive. But then it just got pretty old pretty fast.
Huge disappointment for me.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Welcome back.
Welcome back. So now we're to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. Auntie Joan, what you got?
I've noticed this before. The Uqora, Uqora.
Mm-hmm.
It's for UTIs. And what first drew my attention to it was the first commercial I saw, which you didn't get to see. Auntie, you didn't get to see this one. And I tried to find it, but I can't find the original version out there that I saw. Anyway, this woman, one of the founders, you see her face on the screen, and she said, "I had 8 UTIs in 1 year." And she's got this smirk on her face, which I don't know if most of you know this, but a lot of times people say UTIs can be caused from sexual relations.
Correct.
So she's got this smirk on her face like, well, I'm really getting it a lot. How about you? I'm getting it so much. I'm getting 8 UTIs this year. So since we like to discuss commercials one way or another, whether we like them or not, I thought this would be a good one for me to bring because she does just have that smirk on her face. And then her husband comes in on the commercial
Partner.
Too. Oh, excuse
Easy.
me. Yes.
Partner. No assumptions being made here. She calls
Spencer.
him her partner.
Spencer. And when I was doing some deep dive on it yesterday, somebody sent a thing that says, if you're getting 8 UTIs, you better realize that Spencer's dipping it somewhere else besides just you.
Well played.
So, in my deep dive, I went to the YouTube, and there were a few women out there, reviews, and they seem to think that it works pretty well. And now I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. I do not play one on TV. But their research led them to this thing called D-mannose, which is a sugar that seems to reduce the recurrence of UTIs. Supposedly, there's scientific evidence. And this D-mannose is found in fruits such as cranberries, apples, and peaches. So they have that particular item in the Uqora. And then also turmeric, which is an antimicrobial agent. The Uqora comes in 3 stages. I guess you can do a flush. You can do it, which I think is a just something to use regularly to help keep the whatever clean and fresh and all that stuff. And then there's the.
I thought that's what Lumi was for.
No, that's for the external.
Oh.
We're talking about the urethra area and the internal urinary tract. Okay. And then there's another thing that's, I don't know, there's 2 other steps to it. And if you buy the whole thing, it's $80. And
is that one dose?
No, it's 1 month.
Oh, 1 month. Okay.
1 month.
Okay.
And then if you get a subscription, it goes down to like $50 or $55 a month. These ladies, these women seem to think it works. So I don't know. I've had 2 UTIs in my entire life, and that's a while. That's a while. And one of them was caused, well, I got it shortly after a surgery where, they put a catheter in you. So I think that particular opening was somewhat widened anyway. So I think that's what caused that one.
And the second one was due to sex?
The first one was that was
Atta girl.
Years and years and years ago.
My very first UTI was due to sex too.
Really?
Yes. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what is this craziness?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
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 Indeed.
Yeah. Did you think it was cancer right away? I mean, that's
No, I
usually
didn't know
where
what
my
was
mind goes.
happening.
Oh.
But it hurt, it was very, very painful. And of course, I didn't know what was going on. So I didn't go to the doctor right away. And then, their blood was in the urine. And then I started really freaking out. I just waited too long. And it was angry. It's like, you need to fix this now. So then I went to the doctor and then all was better. Some antibiotics, boop, 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 done.
Yep.
All good to go.
Why would anybody want to be a survivalist? I mean, you look at modern science today and all the antibiotics and all the treatments and all the medical interventions we have for things. Why would somebody want to survive a nuclear holocaust and have nothing?
Oh, that's where you were going with that. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I would walk outside in a nuclear holocaust. Call it done.
Yeah, spread your arms out and say, take me.
Yes.
People used to die from...
Not the first time I would ever say that.
But it may be your last.
It might be.
People used to die from abscessed teeth,
Mm-hmm. Very
It's
true.
just, yeah.
Very
Can you imagine living with a untreated UTI?
I mean, in, third world countries, there are women who do that. There was somebody I used to work with, his mother, who lived in India, had a UTI for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't even understand how that's
Oh,
possible. Like, I couldn't
gosh.
stand it for 2 hours. And she's been dealing with this for 2 years. It was some chronic
Wow.
UTI that she was having. I don't know if they didn't have the right medications over there or the medications weren't working. I don't know what it was, but yeah, she had a UTI for 2 years. I forgot about that until just now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terrible. I can't, like I said, I can't even fathom that. I can't. The pain it's real, folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real. Yeah. Yikes.
So my memory still works because when I got the second one a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I knew right away what it was
Yes,
because I
of
could
course.
remember what it was like,
Yeah.
what is it, 40 years ago when I
Yeah.
first one.
That's how painful it is. Yeah, I really liked. I've had some since that were not related to sex, and I honestly don't know what the cause was. Actually, one year I had a few, and in relatively short period of time, and that was concerning. And then they just stopped, and I haven't, honestly, knock on wood, I don't think I've had one since. So that was back in 2015. 2015. And like I said, I have no rhyme or reason to it. I don't know what that was about. I didn't end up with an illness. I didn't end up.
Did you go to the doctor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every time I got one, I went to the doctor to get drugs. One time it actually happened when I was on a business trip in Canada. Now that was fun with all men, of course. And I'm sitting there like dying, feeling like I'm dying. Clearly I wasn't dying, but feeling like I'm dying. And then finally I just looked at my boss and said, "Can I please have the keys to the rental car?" He's like, yeah. I'm like, "Don't worry. I do have to go to the doctor, but I promise you everything is fine." He's like, "Yeah, of course." And I went to, so I experienced Canadian healthcare, and it was fine. Whatever.
Oh, you mean you didn't have to wait 8-9 months to get in? You were able to get into the doctor right away?
No, it was a walk-in clinic, just like we have out here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like, but then there was one time I did go to, in Boulder to the Boulder Medical Center, and the doctor there was fantastic. These were not, the two incidents were not related. But when she diagnosed me with a UTI, which I knew what it was, I'm like, "I have a UTI. Can I please have antibiotics?" And she's like, "Yeah, pee in a cup." And I'm like, "Sure." So I did that, and she, "Yep, you have a UTI." I'm like, "Yep." I know. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to give you 2 rounds of antibiotics. You just keep those on hand
Oh,
when, so if you get one again, this way you can just get relief right away. And I was like, now there is a
yeah.
good doctor. She was
Mm-hmm.
not my regular doctor. She was, again, it was like a walk-in clinic thing that they had at the Boulder Medical Center. Yeah, she gave me extra antibiotics, so if it ever happened again, I could just immediately get relief. Honestly, they do, I mean, I don't know about this. How do you say it again?
Uqora.
Uqora. Maybe this is the answer because I've been saying for years, well, ever since the first one, the medication for something like this should just be off the shelf, because once you've had, like you said, once you've had your first one, you know
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
it is. And, having readily available medication without having to go and pee in a cup, like, you're wasting time, you're wasting money because,
Yeah, yeah.
and all that. And it's like, I know exactly what it is. So I've done the cranberry juice thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps, but it doesn't clearly cure you. So it's interesting with this
Yeah.
Uqora. I said, hopefully I don't have a need for it. I would love to never have a need for that again.
Yeah, yeah.
But and can you only get it online, or is that something you can get in a store?
I'm not sure.
That would be interesting to know too. Like, how readily available is it? Like, do I have to buy it? Like, is it preventative versus when you're having one that you take
Well,
it?
I don't think you can count on it to actually cure it.
Okay. So it's more of a preventative
Yeah. I
kind of
mean, if
thing.
it's a bacterial thing, then, you're going to need antibiotics.
Right. Okay. So this is more like a supplement, lack of better terms,
Yeah, yeah,
that you
yeah.
would be
I mean, it's
taking.
all natural
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. You didn't send me that particular commercial. I have seen that commercial that you were referring to. Because I do remember once you sent this to me, at first I didn't know what it was. And then when I watched the video, I'm like, I have seen these people before. Because I remember distinctly her talking about, my partner and I developed this. And I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, and that guy, like, what does he have to do with anything? Like, has he really experienced a UTI? I know men can get them, but I think it's a much rarer occurrence. I could be wrong. More unlikely for a man to get one, because I think in like the Green Mile, isn't that what Tom Hanks ended up having? Didn't he have like a
I don't
ridiculous
remember.
UTI or something crazy? It really hurt. I don't know. That's what I assumed it was because of how much pain he was in when he went to
Oh,
pee. But maybe it was
oh,
a prostate thing. I don't know, because I saw that when I was pretty young, so maybe I didn't even think prostate. I just thought, oh my God, he's got a UTI. I don't know. I always thought that's what he had, but I could be wrong.
and
Anyway,
then and then UTIs in older people can really mimic dementia
correct. Yes.
and dehydration also.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
can mimic dementia symptoms also. Yeah.
Indeed. And by the way,
Oh,
it's Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Is that wear your purple?
oh, I've got my purple
I see
on.
you got your purple on. I do not, because I forgot until just a second.
I
I
didn't
forgot.
know it was. I didn't know it was Alzheimer's.
Yes. Alzheimer's
Bless
Awareness
your
Month.
hearts to everybody out there dealing with it and being
Definitely.
caregivers. It's a rough road.
It really is. All right. Anything else on Uqora?
UTIs.
UTIs.
I think we've kind of covered it there. We went from hemorrhoids to
I
UTIs
tell you
in
what.
one session.
All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you wanted to bring up for our listener today?
Oh no, I think I've pretty much said everything I need to say today.
All right, then I think that wraps up yet another wonderful episode of Pickled Watermelon Rinds. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye bye now.
Bye. We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.